it's Barry Upton here with Gloria Jones from the Pattaya Trader, and we're going to take another look at the new magazine. But I've got a little quick jingle to start off with. It goes like this. Here we go. Where's the pic? If you want to be a smooth operator, get into the Pattaya Trader. Do you like it? Thank you.
Love it.
Right,
Love it. Thank you. There you go. Recently penned. So you've been so creative in your lockdown period. You really do well.
So we're socially distancing here correctly.
Again,
and,
yes.
You know, it's a difficult time, isn't it, for the magazine?
It really is. It really is. I think, you know, we're just hopefully seeing a little bit of light, a few restrictions being lifted, but it's been really tough, I have to say.
Yeah.
And a lot of my customers are suffering. And we just hope that as we come out a little bit, we do it sensibly, slowly, but businesses come back to life a little bit.
So you're online now.
So yeah, I'm
you've always been online, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly.
But
we've never
it's
really
even more
focused on it.
now.
It really is, because people
So
aren't
you've got
getting
all your
out.
gadgets there.
I'm so gadgeted up, really, really. And, you know, we've noticed as well that although, as I said last month, we predominantly put them out at the supermarkets,
Yeah.
but places like hospitals, it was very interesting. People weren't picking them up as much. So I think there's a little bit of reticence about picking up magazines in public places. So we thought, well, okay, online. We've always been online, as you rightly say, but PattayaTrader.com is where you want to go. And if you're isolated, if you're at home, you can still see the magazine. So, come on.
There you go. So what are the key points from the new magazine?
Well, let me just do a virtual scroll here. So what we've started on with our cover is a lot of people have been giving out free food. And I've been following with interest Kent, who had a restaurant in Soi Wat House in Jomtien called Kent Restaurant. And the minute he was told to shut, he kind of diverted his energy into making free food and supplying it at Jomtien Beach, which he does twice a week. And we go down there, and that's our kind of cover story. He and his lovely wife have been doing that, and more power. There's quite a few people doing that, and at the moment, much needed.
Absolutely.
So, you know, a few lessons to be learnt, like getting people to socially distance. I think people are very good at wearing the masks, but not always aware of the 1 metre ruling.
Sure.
So, you know, he's had a few goes at it, but he's got the whole operation running like clockwork. Somebody gives out the hand sanitizer, the next person gives out the water, the next person gives out the food. They keep 1 metre apart and doing a really great job.
The whole thing's been a learning curve, isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. And it's right, you know, people, you know, are needing this service, but by the same token, you don't want to spread the virus. So while things hopefully are obeying a bit, you know, just keep in mind the rules. So that was how we led off. That was with our very first and it makes a really nice slushing noise as you're clicking the pages. There you go. That amuses me no end. So, yes, so we go through with our editor's comments, and they're my thoughts for the moment. And as we said last time, you know, events, we used to have 2 pages of events. No, we don't have any events. But what we've done instead is we've put a Thai holiday page, because there are a lot of Thai holidays in May.
Yeah.
And then things to do during lockdown is an article that we featured for the second page. So, you know, while you can't get out and about, what can you do? Well, YouTube at the end of this month are doing a fantastic thing. They're teaming up with all the festivals, like there should have been Cannes going on at the end of this month, and Tribeca and these type of film festival places. And they're going to be doing a free 10-day streaming of films, which is great, you know. And there are opportunities if you explore, you know, your Netflix, your YouTube, Google, just generally lots of things to see, virtual tours of museums, art galleries.
So, have you got some suggestions?
Yeah, we've got some suggestions there. So have a little look through there, because that will give you some ideas. And then the next 2 pages, as we said last month, there is no cinema, so there's no big screen. So we've done 2 pages of small screen suggestions, some being kind of new things that are coming out, and some being binge watching, you know, things like Peaky Blinders, Breaking Bad, 24. If you didn't kind of see them, there's like hours and hours to watch. Hours and hours.
You can never be bored.
You can never be bored. So there's a lot of good stuff to watch there as well. And then the next double page feature I really like. We've got a very talented photographer in our midst who used to live in Bangkok. He's moved to Pattaya. His name's Carrie Peck, and he does really great photos. So he went out early in the morning and took photos of all the empty streets in Pattaya. So you've got shots of like walking
One day
street.
we'll look back and laugh.
Well, it's
say,
very interesting.
How did that happen?
It's very interesting as a historic document, because it literally is the kind of the streets that are eerily quiet because you're used to them bustling. Then I thought we'd focus on a couple of characters who a lot of people know in Pattaya, but have, for one reason or other, found themselves in places far away. One of them being Bethany, who, like, is a very good friend of mine who went back to Australia, loves climbing mountains. Don't share her hobby, but she's done Everest Base Camp twice, and she just
She's very adventurous.
She really is. I mean, she just always, in the air.
And she's always got a very positive attitude.
She's really upbeat,
Yeah.
and she needs to be because she's locked in Nepal now. And has been for 5 weeks.
Oh, right.
Because she went there to do her usual thing about climbing a mountain, and while she was there got stuck. And the lockdown happened, and so she's been posting these amazing photos on Facebook. And I just said, Bethany, can I do a little piece on you? And she said, with pleasure, because I think it's kind of interesting while we're sitting in our own situation, just to think about others.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, I also got in touch with Jason.
Jason Rupp.
Yes, who went from one hotspot to the epicenter of America. I mean, what is it? Don't follow Jason when he travels.
He's all over the place, all over the world. In fact, actually, he was in Wuhan.
He was in Wuhan.
Not so long ago.
Then he went to Italy when it kicked off
I did text him and say, is it your fault?
Do you know what I mean? Just don't go anywhere Jason goes, because it's bound to be a hotspot.
Because he went from there to here, then to Italy.
Yeah, went to Italy and got locked down in southern Italy, in Calabria. Managed to get on a flight, a jumbo, going back to the States, where I think he and his mother were the only 25 passengers. And finds himself in New York. And, interesting to have his perspective on life there, because, again, New York is a place...
Very high figures in New York.
Yeah, terrible. And, again, we're used to it being bustling, full of energy, loads of people on the streets, and it's a ghost town, and it's kind of quite surreal for people. It looks like a movie set in terms of how empty it is, So that's Jason's story. So I thought that was quite an interesting take. And then I've written one myself as a personal plea on the importance of wearing your masks, people.
Even a Pattaya trader mask.
Even a Pattaya trader mask. Thank you, global advertising,
well,
by the way.
People in Southeast Asia, they're used to wearing masks. And have you noticed the news from the UK where it's not their culture?
No.
And people have just not got into it, and their figures are terrible.
Yes, and I've had conversations, because my daughter, as you know, is in London at the moment, and she said, Mum, people are just not confident about wearing masks, or they feel a bit embarrassed because they might be the only one or two on the streets. Yeah. But I think America...
they're waking up a little bit now.
Waking up to it, UK are waking up to it. And it is important, and apart from anything else, if it is the culture here, and we as Farangs are not adopting that, it creates a bit of a them and us, which I'm not happy about. So as well as your social distancing, the hand washing, everything else, when you're out and about, wear your masks. Then there's a very interesting article about strengthening your immunity, which I think is important at the moment. We've all got to be as fit and as strong as we possibly can be. And this is all about things like deep breathing techniques and ice cold showers and ice cold baths. Really good for you. So, something you can do during lockdown but might benefit from
also exercise, take vitamin C.
Yeah.
These are all good things,
Eat
aren't they?
well. Yeah, really good. Really
do
good.
that.
Do that. Do all of that.
It's a very important part of my life is to eat well.
Eat well. Do that. Sports. Well, we've got a few things in sports. We've got sporting heroes, and this month we concentrate on the Brazilian team, for 1970 and the kind of iconic World Cup there. So that's a few memories there. And
which spawned the chant that they sing at football grounds. It's just like watching Brazil, because they were the trailblazers for stylish football.
I think people, when that match happened, or those matches leading up to the final, people hadn't seen football like that.
No.
You know, it was really kind of something quite special. So that's a nice thing to look back on. And also we've got a little bit of an update because some things are easing, promises of some things behind closed doors. So we've done a little sports update as well for you, and a charity event going on with Brian Jacks, who is a Pattaya guy. He and also who's his other guy is with him.
He's an Olympian. Former Olympian.
He is. So you've got him teaming up because he's a judo kind of meister, really. I mean,
yeah.
he's well known for people that follow the sport as well. And Graham Roberts is well known as well for being a footballer from the time played in the World Cup again. And they've got together to do a bit of charity. So that's an interesting sporting take. And then, you know, just a few finance guidelines. Have you got your medical insurance in place? Magna Carta have got some guidelines on bankruptcy, which we really hope people aren't having to adhere to. But you know, you need to know.
You do need to know.
You do need to know. So there's some important things to follow there. And then, of course, if you've got anything you're selling, any vehicles, things that you're no longer using or you've looked at and things, we've got our marketplace. And that is something you can, again, go to pattayatrader.com, go on the marketplace, sell your things online as well.
Brilliant.
So a few pages of that. And then we've got, you'll be very pleased with this, a double page of jokes, because we think people really need cheering up. Some of yours are in there, Barry.
Oh, are they? Are you,
yes.
Oh, you got some? Okay, I'll
yes,
have a look at those.
Learn to speak Mandarin.
They'll be the funny ones.
They'll be the ones that, you know, the rib crackers. The learn to speak Mandarin is in there, so don't worry, John, with your pictures of the fruit. And that really takes us to the end of the trader section.
So how about the property trader?
Okay. So for
you haven't got to flick the magazine over. You just got to go to a different page.
I've even gone to a different device because, you know, I'm IT savvy. I just wanted to show how easy it is to view on a mobile phone. The clue here is you can just flick, as I was doing on the iPad, but you can download it. So if you call up pattayatrader.com, you'll get the Pattaya Trader magazine and the Property Trader magazine. Click on, as I have, the Property Trader magazine. You can download it, and then you just beautifully just scroll through the pages.
Fantastic.
Nice and easy. So yeah, so easy way to do it. And again,
it makes
you know,
a nice little page turning sound as you.
Yes, I love the page turner click and that. And on the phone, you can just beautifully scroll up the pages. So we've done a feature for our cover on Sierra. Now, Sierra are known to a lot of people for great gym equipment, and they kit out professional gyms throughout condominiums and gyms all over Pattaya. And of course, the gyms are closed now, and a lot of condo gyms are closed now. So the answer here, which is what Sierra are doing, is to sell you equipment that you can have in your home. A nice article from Thailand.property about negotiating if you are looking at property during this lockdown, scrolling through, what you could possibly think about doing to get a real bargain, because obviously there are bargains to be had at this time. And then the private sector wants the Thai government to push back the new land and building tax. There's going to be continuous updates about, you know, what we're doing in terms of taxes, in terms of businesses, asking for wages for staff and so forth. You know, it's ongoing. And finally, an article, because there are lots of articles. That's the good thing for our readers, not so good for me, but when there's fewer adverts, there's lots of articles. And the Thailand leasehold property, does it ever make sense to lease? As some pros and cons. So, pattayatrader.com, so easy to remember. And then when you open up the page, you'll get both magazines, the Trader and the Property Trader. You'll also get the marketplace if you've got anything to sell, so everything you need from the homepage. If, as I said last month, you're really bored, you can go through our back issues. We've got 2 years' worth of magazines there. Interesting to see what May looked like last year and all the things that we were doing then. Just kind of interesting retrospect there. But yeah, we've hopefully got a few things to kill a few hours for you.
So we'll finish off with the little jingle, shall we?
Excellent. Yes.
It goes like this. If you wanna be smooth operator. Get into the Pattaya Trader.